Ho ho ho! Merry New Year, Yup Tower. Merry New Year's. Is that how people say it? I don't talk to enough people to know if that's how people say it. Anyway, yeah, no, New Year 2025. Can you guys believe it? A new year has arrived just out of the blue. Nobody sees it coming. How does it do that? Nobody knows. Nobody knows how it works. But yeah, I just hope that you guys are all having a blast, having a fun time, happy life. Things could not be better. The future's looking bright. I hope that things are just the bees and knees. Now, with all that being said, I do have some very, very bad news. Yeah. Okay, how to say this? I've been planning this for a bit. I guess I just gotta rip the Band-Aid off, right? Bit of bad news here, guys. A little worse than a bit. Maybe a lot. Maybe a little more than a lot. I don't know. Maybe a ton? I don't know. I haven't weighed it. I don't usually subscribe to the metric system. That's for communists after all. But really, it's very difficult to quantify here. I'm going to go with about 3 pounds worth of bad news here. About 3 pounds worth. Which is, you hear that and you're just like, oh, okay, well, 3 pounds of bad news. I could carry that. I could lift that. I lift, I'm part of the Yop Tower database. I am a member of the Yoppy crew. I'm serving in the war. I can lift 3 pounds of bad news. Well, here's the thing. We're going to be lifting this 3 pounds for about, I don't know, the next 7 months or so, maybe a bit longer. And we're going to be carrying it uphill. Yeah, so that's where things are going to get a little dicey, you might say. But there is good news. Stick around for the good news. I'm sharing the bad news first. There is a silver lining to all of this. I know that you guys have worked hard in this war. You sacrificed a lot. And I do not want anyone to feel hopeless in this cause, especially not at the beginning of the year. This is where our hopes should be at their highest, really. I kind of thought that we would already be winning this war by now. It turns out it might take a little bit longer, but there is very good news. Stick around till the end for that very good news. So, anyways, here's the bad news, okay? I'm just gonna come out and say it by dragging it out for a little bit. So, yeah, you may recall that for the longest time now, we have had an insider, an operative, a Yoppy operative, you might say. Yopperative? Ooh, hang on a second, let me write that down. Running out of titles. Gotta jot down whatever I can when I come up with it. Okay, what was I saying? Where was I? Okay, insider at the Watchtower. Devious schemes, send $500 to a private eye, get scammed. Okay, wait. Oh, I haven't gotten to that last part yet. Okay, gosh. Now I've just kind of spoiled it. Okay, yeah. So here's the thing: we got scammed, guys. We got scammed. Okay, all of us collectively got scammed. This isn't just a scam on me. This is a scam on all of you too, because you're a part of this. That $500 that I sent to the quote-unquote insider to get these matters settled and figure out where the Watchtower is keeping their database. That money is now taken from my pocket and from yours, and you should be very upset about that. I know I sure am. So that is a setback, to put it lightly, and an embarrassing blunder, to put it more accurately. Not the best of situations here that we've found ourselves in. I got a little suspicious once I sent over the money, and I didn't hear anything back. They never showed up to that Zoom call that we had planned. I never heard back from them at all, actually. And I was just thinking like, oh, well, people get busy for a couple months and they don't get back to you. That's just like a normal thing that people do. But after a while, I got a little curious and I was like, okay, well, I've never actually bothered to check if this person who claims that they're part of the Watchtower, if they are listed as being a member of the Watchtower. And the Watchtower website does list people who work for their company. And so I just start looking through this list of Watchtower operatives, and I go through person after person after person, and I'm like, where is Marco Polo? There, okay, I'm just gonna say it, all right? That is the name that the insider gave me from day one. They said their name was Marco Polo and that they worked for the Watchtower. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're gonna tell me, Yop, how could you fall for that? Marco Polo, that's that game that you play in the pool. I don't know, man. It made sense at the time. I just kind of thought that maybe it was a regional thing. Somebody's got to be named it, right? Where did the game come from, right? I mean, I don't. Maybe this was the originator of that game. I didn't know. You know, what do you want from me, right? I'm not going to become a cyber sleuth every time someone sends me a message. I would be working my behind off 24/7. One day out of the year. So I do not have time for that. So I just kind of let it slide, and it was only recently that I looked. Turns out there is not a Marco Polo that works for the Watchtower. So I guess all this time it has just been a prank. A prank turned scam. And you have to admit, though, this doesn't look very good for the Watchtower either. That their fans, they're hucksters, shysters. They will scam you out of $500 and run for the hills. You know, this is your fan base, Watchtower. This is on you. This is on you. You, as far as I'm concerned, you stole that $500 from me. You may as well have just pushed me over onto the hard concrete, reached into my pocket, pulled out my wallet, kicked me in the ribs, and ran away laughing. That is basically what has happened here. And they're not gonna. You think they're gonna take responsibility for this? No, they're not gonna take responsibility. People are gonna say, "Oh, well, it's your fault. Why didn't you look more into this before you sent $500 to someone who you barely know?" You know what that is? That is called passing the buck. You are just passing the problem off to someone else. So yeah, you might say this has got me down a little bit. You know, losing $500 and finding out that one of the few people you've spoken to over the last couple of years or so was a huckster. So yeah, it doesn't quite sit well. You know, it just doesn't quite sit well with me. In fact, I feel just a little bit used and sad and pitiful and depressed and just kind of like a blunderous failure. Failure to myself, a failure to my family, a failure to you guys. And this is basically the darkest chapter of my life by far. I am shrouded in absolute darkness, and there is absolutely no light at the end of this tunnel I have found myself within. So yeah, thanks for tuning into this episode, guys. Don't forget to tune in next time. Actually, no, there is still good news. There is still good news. I almost forgot. So yeah, good news time, all right? Let's put the past behind us here. New year, new me. That's what I'm thinking. There is now a new font for our thumbnails. You guys notice that? It's not just a thumbnail too, because the thumbnail and the visual on screen right now are the same thing. So I guess it's just new text in general. We need a new text. Because the font that I had previously was a font that I made myself called Breeblebug. Very proud of that font. However, I never made certain characters with it, like there were never like numbers made or certain signs, so I finally decided to move on to a font that has a bit more versatility. So take a look at that. This is a big moment for the Yoppy Tower. All right, well, anyways, I think that pretty much sums things up. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.